Music. You know it, I know it. But what exactly is it? I'm curious, and you should be too. Let's figure this out. Google defines music as vocal or instrumental sounds, or both, combined in such a way as to produce beauty of form, harmony, and expression of emotion. While that is true, I think in order to truly grasp that, you have to take a closer look at what music may mean to you. Does it motivate you? Does it relax you? Does it make you happy? Does it make you sad? Or does it do some combination of things? Music's pertinence begs the question of its purpose and meaning in the modern world. The question, "What is your favorite song?" is one that leaves the recipient of said question stumbling over themselves. The most common answer to this question is something to the effect of, "Oh, there are too many to choose from, blah 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 blah." But why is this? I believe that this is because we enjoy different songs for different reasons. Take, for instance, the song Mary by Alex G. If you haven't heard it, consider it highly recommended. This is not the type of song that you would consider listening to when you are happy. Alex's lyricism about an elusive girl that has captured his heart and proceeded to beat it to a pulp leaves the listener with a sense of longing for a love that can never seem to settle down. He practically is begging this girl to let him waste away with her, even though deep down he knows that it won't lead to anything. You wouldn't want to relate to this hopeless romance if you were having the best day of your life. It's something you would seek after a breakup or rejection. Additionally, the song Accidentally in Love by the Counting Crows is another song about a hopeless romantic. However, in contrast to Alex G's ballad about frantically throwing himself out there, this song takes a lighter approach that makes love out to be a lighthearted concept that brings joy to his life. Instead of feeling like he is wasting his time, he fully accepts his position and takes pride in enveloping himself in, quote unquote, the strawberry ice cream never ever ender that is the love from his partner. Music about the same topic seems to take a different approach, giving it two sides to a totally different spectrum. These emotional spectrums can be created for just about any subject of just about any song. It is curious how this can be, but in order to understand emotions, you'd have to be some kind of super genius, so I'm not even going to throw it out and attempt at that. People seek different sorts of songs to express how they feel. This demonstrates how the concept of a favorite song is just totally unjust, as it is completely subjective to a person's mood. So, we've established that music is a vessel through which emotions of all sorts can be carried, whether it be positively or negatively. Yet, what within these pieces makes these emotions? An article written by Alistair Jennings for InsideScience.org explains this very well. He describes how certain chords sound pleasant because of how we divide tones into different pitches. In order to explain that at a sonic level, music is something that plays to the natural frequencies of human hearing. Furthermore, Jennings emphasizes that the emotional content of a song activates mirror neurons in our brains, which stimulate behaviors perceived in the real world to help with social understanding and empathy. This in turn activates the limbic system in our brains, which for you normies is the hub of emotion in the brain. This idea that musical emotion is as simple as the complexity of the tones makes total sense. Jennings writes about this further in his article. He says that complex tones such as tritones tend to elicit more of a thoughtful emotion due to the listener being more attuned to listening for such dissonant frequencies. They tend to be deeper in thought in order to pick up on these tones. Therefore, these sorts of songs bring forth emotions such as sadness, longing for something or someone, and or nostalgia. Songs with more basic harmonic chords tend to elicit simpler thoughts due to their easier nature to pick up on. Such emotions include happiness and love. I mean, this makes total sense. Take, for instance, a song such as Happy by Pharrell Williams. While I'm not quite sure whether it does or doesn't use complex tones, what I do know is that its simple lyricism and simple beat pattern makes it an easy to follow and easy to sing song. Man, that song used to be my jam back in 2014. Anyways, I digress. Now, I could go into many more scientific reasons as to why music makes you feel the way you do, but I think we have to delve into a more personal side of music in order to comprehend its different roles. To see that, I would like to discuss the role music has had in my own life. So buckle in, because this story will take us back to about 2021. Before you go getting all upset at me, I would like to say that I had listened to music prior to 2021. But at that time in my life, I had noticed that I would really started paying attention to what exactly I was listening to. I think that due to the COVID outbreak, I had to come up with new ways to entertain myself aside from just video games, which were starting to get repetitive. It had occurred to me that music was a thing. While I had gone through the basic teenage boy rap phase, which, let me add, my parents made me download the clean versions because I was too young to apparently to listen to the explicit versions. I grew bored of rap's repetitiveness and wanted something new. So around May 2021, I really started to get into alternative music like Gorillaz and dad rock like the Foo Fighters. Although I got stuck with buying my own music off the iTunes store during that time period, so all the new music I was getting was drifting from one iTunes gift card to the next. However, on January 30th, 2022, my music scene exploded. After a month of berating my parents, they got me a Spotify subscription. I listened to anything and everything, with few exceptions. I listened to music when I was happy, when I was sad, or when I just needed something to fill my head. Last December, I switched to Apple Music, and I've continued the same listening habits as I used to have on Spotify. For me, music has always been an escape from reality. I find that it helps me express myself when I can't get out my words. I'm not going to go into detail on the internet about specific instances when I've relied on music, but just know it has always gotten me through tough times. I still eagerly search out new music and am delighted to recommend songs and get recommendations. As you can see, from a personal perspective, I have a deep connection with music, so I felt that it was only natural for me to take an exploration into why music does what it does. Now, if you recall, I set out to find music's purpose and meaning. I want to share with you the meaning I have come to. While Google does a good enough job at defining it, I don't think it accounts for the level of personability that music radiates. I think a better way to look at music would be a combination of sonic frequencies that transcend beyond just that and allow people to express emotions without having to toil with finding the words to describe said emotions. As the renowned singer Stevie Wonder once said, music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand. Thank you.